My name is Eddie Edmonds, and I'm here with a unique person that I've read about for a long time, and that he's a luminary in the world of weightlifting and also in the world of theology. And this is Mr. Dan Jung.
Thank you.
Dan, nice to meet you. This interview is going to be asking Dan some questions about not only weightlifting, which is his specialty and which he has a very great reputation, but also we're going to ask some kind of off-the-wall questions for him to answer that I think he'll be very adept at being able to integrate some of these. So the first question I want to ask you, we're here in this chapel. We're here at Juan Diego, and you're the head strength and conditioning coach for the high school, and you're also the track and field coach. And yet this high school, Juan Diego, it's a Catholic high school. Why did you choose to be here?
Well, if I chose it. I also teach scripture here too. Well, it's funny. This is my 31st year teaching right now, which is stunning. But what happened is when the school was being built, I was in a number of the committees designing it. A couple of years ago, the job came open, and I had a really nice job, really cushy job. Didn't do very much at all. It was great. I loved it, and I got to travel a lot. And I was asked several times to take the job, and I said no, no, no. And I always tell my athletes, the joke is always say no one more time than I did. And then my daughter Kelly said, I think it'd be great if you took the job, and so I said yes. And so it's been an interesting journey, because weightlifting, strength training, throwing has always been my hobby. It's always been the way it's one of the ways I define myself. And then to take something that you do as part of your life, as a joy, and then have to teach it to adolescents is very difficult. I always tell people, well, why? This is what you do. You write books about it and articles. Oh, it would be great. Yeah, well, if your hobby was knitting and you had a room full of adolescents looking at you like this, it wouldn't exactly be something that inspires you every day. So that's what you do. And I think we've had great success. When I got here, we had been this phenomenal 2A school. And I knew the jump to 3A would be much harder than many of the coaches and certainly the students thought. They thought 2A state champion the same, and so there's some rough roads, but now I think we're one of the more solid 3A programs across the board.
Wow. And
it all starts, I think it starts in the weight room, to be honest with you. I really do. Because, like we always say, I got this for Brett Jones, absolute strength is the glass, and everything else is what you fill in.
Okay.
So the bigger you can make that glass, the more other qualities you can have. So with we try to make our athletes the biggest glasses we can make, and then the sport coaches can fill in all those other qualities. We're strong. We tumble. We do kettlebells. I think we do some interesting workouts. We train the whole person here at the school, not just in the weight room, but of course all over the facility. In the arts, we expect our students to graduate whole person, W-H-O-L-E, okay? To be able to, it's great if they go on to college, but if not, this is somebody, if they moved in next door to you, would make a great neighbor. That's always been my goal. A great father, a great mother, a great neighbor, a member of the community. That's kind of the goal of this place.
I like that. A follow-up question then with that, we were talking about kids during adolescence, and one of an article you wrote on having a mentor, you said, you talked about a couple of mentors, Coach Mon, you went to Utah State University. So in this environment with kids that are teenagers, and how do you function as a mentor to them? Because sometimes you can't say, well, I'm going to be your mentor. They may not like that.
The most important thing, I think, if you have a faculty, is the idea that every student needs, maybe not a mentor, but someone they can talk to. So that's at the that'd be the base. That's the lowest level. You do not want to be gurus. You don't want your students blindly following you off into the North Sea to drown. But being a mentor is somebody that you can You can trust to tell you the truth. It's not popular to tell people the truth. You know, it is never a good. You have to be honest. And the thing is, it is, especially in sports, it's a grind at the next levels. I bring in a lot of people just to talk to my athletes about how hard it is. Are you willing to give it all up? Well, I'm willing to work really hard for that hour and a half in the weight room. But weekends, I don't know. I'm too good. Oh, I got this, and that. No, if you have one goal, you have to eliminate everything else. So my mentors, as I look back, were hard people. Bob Lahati. I gave this little reflection today at our service. And I thought about Bob Lahati. To get your uniform, you had to run 10 200-meter hills. And it started like this, and it went like this. That was to get your uniform in your locker. That was the line in the sand.
This is at high school?
That's junior college.
Okay, wow. What junior college?
Skyline in California.
Okay.
Great school. Home of the Trojans. Great school. Dick Notmeyer, you need to be here 5 days a week. You need to put in your 2.5 hours of lifting. You need to eat a good breakfast. Did you eat a good breakfast? No. Well, then you obviously have no goals. It was just a bad day. Ralph Mahn, he was, he got it. He was there was nothing fancy about Coach Mahn. It was just, you just keep showing up time after time after time. I feel I have been too kind to many of my students. I should have been harder on them. It's a tough thing. The balance is the issue all the time. You have to ask of them to do difficult things, because life can be difficult.
It is. It's
not always just the wedding celebration. There's a lot of funerals. There's a lot of sadness. There's a lot of babies crying at midnight. And even though you're tired, you still have to get up. Okay, so that's part of what I'm trying to teach here. I think sometimes teachers, the students think of most teachers in a you. They love you, they hate you, very few in the middle. And I think there's a lot of truth to that. Interesting, in my theology classes, I think the bulk of the kids really like me, because I'm interesting, I'm entertaining, and I'm helping them along. Over in the weight room, which I go from honors theology to the weight room.
Wow. Great integration, though.
Very few people can do that. Very few people can make the walk. It's a long way across the building. And then I'm in there, and it's like, okay, here's the path. It's funny, because in theology and in weights, I tell them, I guess, here's the path. And I guess I can only do so much after that.
Well, that's an interesting tension there, because a lot of times you might be speaking with some theologian, and if you talk in terms of weightlifting and working out and physical expression, that's foreign to them. But here you are, you have 2 master's degrees, and in conversations that I've had with you before, you said that your driving desire out of anything is theology. You love theology. So how is it that you are integrating, and how did you get this interest, though, as a theologian then, to totally diverge into something in a physical realm? Most people don't do that, but here you are, you're juggling 2 hats.
But see, I don't see it as a juggling.
Okay.
I see it as, we'll talk about the word integrity. I'm sure it'll come up about just being one person. This is who I am. I cannot separate. If a student asks me, I want to do X, well, I'll do X with you. I can totally focus and be the same person. I would like you to think, and this may or may not be true, that the person you see in the weight room is the person you see here. Is that when I'm competing, now I want to win when I'm competing, but I have a guy I compete against, Jay Lytle, who tells everybody how much he hates me, and yet will also come up and hug me and tell me how much he loves me. To me, that is a sign that I'm doing things right. Is that this guy I'm competing against wants to kill me, but then thanks me because I helped him during the competition, and that's what's driving him crazy. Is that I went out of my way to assist him while we're competing, and that's kind of So that's integrity, and I see absolute no line. There is no line. I'm this guy all the time. I love my weightlifting. I love throwing things far. I love teaching.